begin my homily today, there is a question that is, I know, on the minds of many of you, and many of you are expecting me to comment on this question that is in your mind. Right? This is about the best I can do, because I wasn't there. And it seems like there are only two people there. One is lying. If the Pope said, Mr. Biden, you're a good Catholic, well, he's lying. If the Pope didn't say it, well, then Biden is lying. So you take your choice. That's about as good as I can give you today. Maybe there'll be more to come, but not right now. I began when I was in the chair. I was taking a note, and I said to you, the Pope said that he made me a cardinal. Well, you see, you can say anything you want what the Pope said. Oh, the Holy Spirit gives me all the props I need. Love of God and love of neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Those commandments are on a par with each other, because if you love God, you are going to love your neighbor. Your neighbor is made in the image and likeness of God. Neighbor is a rather expansive term. A lot of times, especially when we're younger, we think of our neighbor as the person who lives next door to us, right on that. As we get older, it becomes much more expansive, and Jesus means it in a much more expansive way. You see, if Sal Ferrara were my neighbor, I have no problem loving them at all. If Big Al was my neighbor, it could be a problem. See, usually people are very, very toxic to us. But this is a worldwide concept. It means every human being. And for most of us, there are going to be people we don't like. People that we don't like because they came in contact with us in some way. We don't like what they said or what they did. But there are other people, of course, that we don't have immediate contact with, but we've heard about them. We've heard about them, and we don't like them. So, let's take, for example, we don't like the president of China, Mr. Xi. We've never met him, but most of us say, well, we don't like him. Okay? Now, does God call us to love Mr. Xi? Yeah, he does. He does. That's why this can get very difficult at times. And there are certain people who are not very likable. That's just a fact of life. This teaching of Jesus, therefore, is not an easy teaching at all. But it means that to everyone we must extend charity. And charity does not just mean financial charity, but it means the wish that they be given what they need for their eternal salvation. That's what that means. Now, financial charity is one of the ways in which we express our concern for our neighbor. Because we see in the Gospels, when I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. When I was homeless, you provided me with a home. And so, it is real, material, financial charity that is also under this umbrella. That's what the church has always had. Charities to take care of the needs of the poor, to take care of the needs of those who are less fortunate. There was a time when the church was, especially in Western society, the major distributor of charity. And only in time with the emergence of the nation state did the state begin to take over a great deal of the distribution of charity, taking care of the needs of the poor, the homeless, and the sick. Before that, what did we have? We had hospitals run by the church, oftentimes by religious sisters, orphanages run by the church, food distribution run by the church. Once the state began to take over these means of distributing charity, the church almost took a step back. And the step back meant that we could only do as much as was possible with the means that we had, which is not bad. It's not bad. In other words, we can't compete with the state financially when it comes to the distribution of food. But we can do what we are able to do, and each individual is called to do what they are able to do within their means. And so that is the living out of the gospel. I remember I was at a meeting once, Catholic Charities, and the bishop was there. And every time somebody would come up with an idea about a project of how to serve the poor in a better way, especially in the city of Camden, somebody said, yeah, but the state government already takes care of that. Oh yeah, but the city government already takes care of that. And the bishop said, either way, Catholic or not, what are we going to do about it? Right? Okay. He was right. What are we going to do about it? Now, in time, the concept of social services has expanded. It's no longer just the distribution of food and clothing and housing or hospitalization for the poor and indigent, but it has expanded insofar as now, with government programs, and I'm not saying they're bad, it takes in a tremendous amount of projects that in the past we would not put under charity. So for instance, government program, we're going to give free tuition to pre-kindergarten. That's a government program. Government program, we're going to expand Medicare, we're going to have dental, and we're going to have an expansion of Medicare for those people who have a hearing impairment, people who need vision insurance. We're going to take care of those broader needs. We're going to forgive college loans. See, that is an expansion of the welfare state. It does not necessarily come under what we would call charity, because the state then begins to do the things that the church wants to do, as I said, on a much, much larger scale. Now, a lot of people think that if they are supportive of these state initiatives for the expansion of the welfare state, that they're being good Christians. Well, no, they might be good socialists, but not necessarily good Christians. Right? The Christian is the one that has to have some skin in the game. You might say these things are wonderful, and I am willing to contribute to pay for it. But if you say, I'm all for it, tax the rich, what merit is there spending somebody else's money? That's not what gets you to heaven. That doesn't help you fulfill the gospel. So let's just take an example. Let's talk about taxes. You don't want to talk about taxes. We all talk about taxes. Government gets its funding from taxes. And as a society, we have the obligation then to distribute that money to whatever we think, or whatever we agree upon as a society it's worth doing. Do you know that only 61% of Americans pay tax? How's that? 61% of Americans pay tax. For the most part, more than half, are not paying anything. And yet, I'm for free education. I'm for the expansion of Medicare. No skin in the game. There's no skin in the game. Now, let's go even a step further. How do you discern what is fair? If you are in favor of government programs, and you believe the government program is a good thing, whatever cause, you want a 6% hike in your Social Security, whatever it is. I think it's going to be 6% this year. Lord knows we need it. Everything in the store is up 20%, so 6% is really a loss. So, what do you think would be fair? Some people are able to take a huge charitable write-off. Some people make that kind of money, they can take a write-off to charity. Is that a charitable donation? No, not a charitable donation. It's a donation to yourself. That's what that is. So if you really believe in charity, the best thing you can do is say, I'm going to give whatever I save in the charitable donation, I'm going to give that to the poor. Now you have some skin in the game. Talish, Al Capone, Talish. All right. That's Italian, you know? That's the capo di tutti i capi over there. No, that means capo di tutti i capi.
Head of the head.
Yeah, head of the head, okay. A lot of people wait for their refund check for their social, for their income tax, right? Their income check. Because maybe you took the minimum or gave the minimum for charitable donation. Is that refund really yours? If you want all these programs, you have to be willing to pay for those programs. Give the income tax refund to a charitable donation. That's living the gospel. That's living the gospel. Not waiting for the top 1% to give the money to pay for all programs that are going to make you feel better about society. Now, let me give you just a heads up. Top 1%, only billionaires are going to pay a certain tax increase. Do you know that in 1913, the 16th Amendment, that allowed the government, the federal government, to tax individuals in the states? It was only meant for the top 1%. Well, it's gone a lot further than the top 1%, hasn't it? A word to the wise. And so what's our message for you today? It's this. Voting to spend other people's money is not loving your neighbor. It's only when you spend your own that you are fulfilling the message of the gospel. God love you.